All right, folks, why are we going live at 8:17 on the West Coast on a Tuesday? Why are we turning up on a Tuesday? Because we got a lot to talk about, and we already dropped some content this morning at 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. on the West Coast is our slots. So we've slotted in there. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of the new schedule. We've been running that 6 a.m. slot in the morning, and then 9 a.m. too, if we can double it up for you guys. And then I wanted to go live here because I have even more to talk about, more to update you guys with. So I'm going to share this one out on Twitter. This is a late night session, late night live, and I'm going to try to go through my stuff as quickly as possible, and then I'll take some Q&A as well, as always. So let's get on through it. The title tonight, the XRP Gold Rush. We're going to have to go through this, as always, current events, cryptocurrency, and the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. This opportunity is a pretty simple one when we compare it to the gold rush, that moment in time when gold was discovered and everyone and their brother was trying to go dig it up as fast as possible. In this regard, we're in the digital gold rush with XRP. It's an amazing time to be alive, but there's plenty of chaos to go around. And so what I am doing, I'm trying to help people navigate through the storm. The storm is here. Just like Jamie Dimon said, economic hurricane is here. So it's already here, it's already been confirmed, and in more ways than one, they're attacking us on many different levels. The chaos is what we have to navigate through with clarity. That's what's important. And I hear folks talking all day long, and I call them the Twitter talking heads. They're talking all day long, and they have plenty of time to talk about what doesn't work, what's not going to work, why we shouldn't speculate, even though then they tell you what to, they're telling you what to do, but without saying, what to do. Essentially, does that make sense? Basically, you have folks that they always have something to say, but they never have an opportunity, or they never say, oh, well, look here, right? It's all this FUD. It's all this talking about one day we might do something. No, right now we're doing something. The real ones in the XRP community and expanding out broader than just the XRP army, we have assembled a community of individuals, men, women, fathers, mothers, folks that are 60, 70 years old at the top end of our age group who are trying to get tapped in and navigate through this storm with me. And God bless you guys. Thank you so much for coming in tonight. If you can, please smash that thumbs up for me and share this one out far and wide. I really appreciate all the support, the love. It's been a fantastic, past couple months here as we've just been watching the storm continue, while a lot of folks are getting faked out, like the BlackRock narratives that came through. It's always something, right? And this month we've been warning about the September sacrifice. I just covered that with my Discord group on Saturday in our exclusive call, where I can talk about these things on an unfiltered, uncensored, completely intimate setting. And I don't have to worry about censorship. Tonight, I'm only live on YouTube, and I'm just going to cut right on through it, guys. We got a lot to cover here tonight. The title, the XRP Gold Rush. I got something exciting to share with you guys at the end of this. Ripple dominating at the showing. Ripple's always showing out. And we have another CBDC conference that they're pulling up to, and they're pulling up in a massive way. No games are being played over here. We're not here for memes. We're here for generational wealth. I appreciate all of you guys for tapping in with me. Let's get right on into it. So the crypto market back down 25,825 at the time of this recording. Like I said, 8:17 on the West Coast, late night session, 1637 for Ethereum, and XRP at 50.5 cents. Let's get right on into it. Kobesi letter. And I dropped an update this morning on the China situation, but we look a little bit further here. 34 out of the top 50 private real estate developers in China are suffering delinquencies. See, I just touched the tip of the iceberg when I covered the China update this morning. This goes a lot deeper, right? And I'll be providing more content on the China market and the global impact that we're going to feel from that. But according to Bloomberg, the remaining 16 developers face a combined 1.5 billion of bond payments this month. This month, right? In January 2024, these remaining 16 Chinese developers will face a massive $3 billion in bond payments, right? We're just getting started. This all comes just weeks after Evergrande filed Chapter 15 bankruptcy here in the United States. And you have to remember they have many entities, many subsidiaries, these companies, these corporations, their tentacles, extended out in multiple jurisdictions. But here in the United States, they just filed for Chapter 15. Meanwhile, the Chinese HY real estate index is down 82% in 2 years. China seems to be on the brink of a credit event, and they definitely are. And so I dropped a China update this morning. You guys can go check that out. The situation, not so hot, but like I always say, this is a global situation. You got different problems. You got different challenges in each country. China is the model country for systems, programs, agendas, and I'll just leave it at that, right? And we're seeing that the people are absolutely going through it, and the credit crisis is real. And we saw they purchased, just on Saturday alone, they purchased as many homes as they did in all of August, or nearly half as many, I think, right? They sold 3,000 homes in August. They did like 1,600, it was well over 1,000 mortgages signed on just Saturday alone, one day, equivalent to the last month. And that's because they just eased up on their restrictions and their mortgage lending and practices and standards. And so I titled it China Capitulates and talked about the global real estate impact. That's what this morning's video was about. You guys can go check that one out. But let's continue on. Back to the United States. Tom Emmer, the White House tells us that the Bidenomics is working versus our reality, which is credit card and car loan defaults hit 10-year high as inflation squeezes families. Everything's about to go on sale. All assets, and even you want to call a car a depreciating liability. It can be one for sure. And many people are going to find out. I mean, this is the data that we're reading off for you, is that folks are finding out that it is a liability, right? But right now there's an opportunity to purchase vehicles the right way during this coming recession. Well, we're here, we're in it, but this only gets better for those with capital and cash on the sidelines. So for those of you who have something to work with, or you're going to work your butt off so that you have extra capital to deploy for investments, or even just updating your rig. I mean, I understand this from a basic, fundamental perspective of just keeping the household fed, updating the new, getting a new family whip. I understand the reality of these situations. I'm telling you guys right now, the sale of a lifetime is going to present itself. It's what do you know? What do you understand? Not what influencer you listen to, or what an influencer told you to do, or what I told you to do, but what are you going to learn and then scale up and take advantage of? If you want it, if you're looking for a family rig or you're looking for a new work truck, we're just getting started with this. This is just the beginning, because we've been raising rates. Got it, check. It's at the fastest pace in history, and it's going to absolutely kill us. But it's a slow bleed out, especially when you just keep them sustained. Now, whether Jerome Powell and the Fed cut next year or not, we've already killed it. We've already been hit by the economic hurricane, in the words of JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, and you guys understand that. But what we're seeing is all the data taking us back to the last Great Recession, all the data taking us back to the Great Depression, all the data taking us back to the crash of 87, all the data taking us back, and all the trends, all the hype taking us back to the dot-com bubble. And what we see playing out in real time right now is a setup. And I've been warning folks about this. This is a market crash event, right? But they can continue to pull new money out of their tool belt. That's their toolkit, right? They can either lower or raise interest rates, and then they can print or inject more money. And they can also do Bidenomics, student loan forgiveness, another round of PPP, another deal. Whatever they want to do. They've opened up Pandora's box once again. Just like I said in March 2020 simulations, they opened up Pandora's box, and Trump just started sending it because he knew the gig was up. Full attack on the country. And so he sent it. And the same thing just happened when they did no cap. They removed the cap on the debt ceiling. They would love to just get rid of the debt ceiling, and many people are actually proponents of that. But that's where they're trying to go. And they've already got it effectively as of now, as we watch the DC corporation kind of go bankrupt and blow itself up. It's out of money, and they've given themselves no limit now. So if the Fed wants to turn it back on, they can, right? but we understand what that's going to do to the dollar. We understand what that's going to do to the markets, which leads me to believe that we have another incredible run up coming up here in about the next year. And that's for risk on assets. If we get student loan, if we get Bidenomics, if we get more money, if we get forgiveness, and if we get the money printer turned back on and then we start to cut rates, we send it once again. Think about this. The markets are still going up in the middle of the Fed raising rates, in the middle of horrible jobs numbers, in the middle of inflation ticking back up. The Fed not winning the fight against inflation, i.e. they need to raise rates at least one more time, if not even further. I don't think that they have the backbone or the cojones to do it. That's what it would take to actually win the fight against inflation. Or you just do what they've been doing and you just change how you calculate the data, change how you do the math, spit up a new government phony data point for us to run with, and you call it good. That is their model for the next year and a half. What they have planned for the average American here over the next year and a half is going to be crazy. I see that we got a 20 spot from Unitarian Apologetics. Thank you for all you do. I appreciate that support. I really do. Thank you for all the love, guys. Let me continue on before I rant too much further. But this is what we keep on bringing it back to. How is the average person, the average American, going to get impacted? I'm right there with you guys, and I'm trying to prepare myself as well. I haven't filled up the gas tank yet, but we might want to consider, because crude oil prices rise above $87 for the first time since November 2022. So oil back up. Biden trying to fill back up the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. How's that program working out? Not happening. Saudi Arabia just announced that they will be extending production cuts of 1 million barrels per day until January 2024. So are they our enemy or our ally, Saudi Arabia? They've now joined BRICS effective January 1st, 2024, and now they're going to extend production cuts until 2024. Throughout the end of the year, more pain for America without having to fire a single shot at us. That is the commodity war taking place in real time. Mainstream media is not going to break this down for you, folks. In less than 3 months, oil prices have gained a massive 31%. The last time oil neared $90, the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve had 250 million more barrels of crude oil. How's that for Bidenomics? How's that for a program working out? What happened to refilling the SPR? Well, I'll tell you what happened. What happened was that we approached the $67 to $70 target range for Biden and team. And this is when OPEC announced unanimous production cuts. And as we're seeing from Saudi Arabia, double down. And as we're seeing from Saudi Arabia, joining BRICS, along with 6 other countries that are now joining BRICS. And as I showed you guys in my new playlist series, BRICS Loves XRP, we now have 5 of the 11 BRICS nations that are live with on-demand liquidity XRP. And then on top of that, I've shown you how Saudi Arabia Monetary Authority was meeting with Ripple back in 2017, 2018. Deals have been done. One might speculate. How do we tokenize oil? Right? And this is where Ripples came to all the incumbents. No matter what country you're from, who you align with, or what you believe in, this is what having a neutral reserve currency does for you when you pull up to the table. That's a powerful thing, and we'll be talking about that a little bit further. Now, Operation Choke Point, well in effect, and this is the what we're getting, the effects of Operation Choke Point. Jungle Inc. just announced Genesis U.S. spot trading business will shut down this month. How about that? They are running all the crypto bros out of town as the BlackRock's, Fidelities, and the traditional finance take over. Is CZ next? And we've been watching Binance closely. Cheers, everyone. Hope you're enjoying this one. Now, I'm going to put out a separate video because I want to be very clear. I'm not trying to just FUD out the Bitcoin bros because I want to see them lose. I want to see, I want to see a free market, and whoever's going to win shall win, right? Let the best project, let the best tech, let the best companies, and let the best investors win. That's what I'd love to see. But I want to bring up legitimate concerns, as I always do, Because if I have concerns about Bitcoin, I'll let you know. And I've done that often. And I have many concerns about Bitcoin. If I have concerns about XRP or XRP Plus smart contracts now, I'll let you know, right? And so I'm going to make a separate video where I go deeper on this. But today it's getting brought back up again on Twitter. And so I wanted to bring it up tonight. You know, is Bitcoin, are they going to uncap the supply is the big question. And Nikita, I'm not going to try to pronounce the last name here on Twitter, says how to drop the 21 million coin cap. Easy peasy. You just change this tiny function in Bitcoin's code and say mysteriously and expertly that there's a consensus for that. And that's all it is. You have a few lines of code, and that's all it would take to fork the Bitcoin ledger, right? Or to change this $1 million cap. I guess this wouldn't be a fork. Let me get my terms straight before the devs come in and correct me. They love to come in and correct us, don't they? Oh boy, we got to be straight to it. So this wouldn't be a fork, I guess. This would just be, or it could potentially be a fork. Maybe it could. I don't know. The smart guys can let me know. But this is a concern for many, like myself, when I look at this Bitcoin code, and the same thing for XRP. So I want to be very clear. I'm not just trying to FUD out Bitcoin. I want to make it clear that there's the same thing that could occur for XRP. If all of the validators came to an 80% consensus, they could change the XRP ledger and basically create more tokens. That could be done. Let's be very clear. But with Bitcoin, and you know how much pushback the XRP community, I mean, people in the XRP community would be looking, they'd be trying to chase these guys down in the streets, right? In regards to Bitcoin, the conversations are now circulating once again, because if Bitcoin price doesn't go up, Bitcoin miners aren't going to be profitable, right? And because they are talking about this security feature of, how this Bitcoin ledger apparently is supposed to work with their 21 million cap. And there's an update that's coming. It's like version 301 or something. Like I said, I'm going to make a separate video. I don't want to give you guys my opinion really on this, other than to say I'm looking into this right now. I got a video coming on it, but you guys know I already don't hold Bitcoin, and I don't really care for Bitcoin. I already think that it's a relevant technology and it doesn't have any utility. And so I don't care to hold it, and I don't care to invest in it or trade, other than I do trade Bitcoin futures. I've shorted the heck out of Bitcoin, to be fairly, truthful with you guys. But in regards to Bitcoin, this whole narrative that they're running with is running out of steam, right? And you're seeing that the Bitcoin ledger's already been forked so many times, and you have folks that really do believe, that these other versions are the real one, and then there's this divide. And right now we do have something that's playing out in the XRP community with the smart contracts platform. I've tried to approach that with a level head, provide clarity for the community, and I don't want to, spread any FUD. I want my community to understand what's happening. And so I'm going to be dropping a separate video on this Bitcoin deal. But folks, it's coming around, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is because I saw it circulating on Twitter. And apparently the Bitcoin core developers are seriously, considering this, raising the supply of Bitcoin. Interesting stuff. But we look at DC regulations, what's taking place over here in the United States, from Ron Hammond. What do we got taking place in the DC swamp? This week in Congress and crypto, Congress is coming back to DC after a few weeks in their districts, and they have a full work slate ahead of them, including preventing a shutdown. That's right. Apparently, we're going to shut down by the end of the month if we don't get it passed. For crypto, there is legislation pending a vote, Gensler testifying twice, and more. What to watch. This is going to be a spicy month of September, folks. I'm telling you that right now. The shutdown is by far front and center. Everything else is secondary, including the FIT Act market structure bill and the stablecoin bill, which passed the Financial Committee and House GOP committees. So essentially, these bills are not priority for Congress, or the both of these are U.S. House of Representatives. Okay. For stablecoins, a lot of the jockeying between stakeholders, such as the House R's, House D's, and the White House, is happening behind the scenes. Recall the bill was derailed last minute with the White House objecting to the state versus federal pathway for the main regulator for stables. With stables in a holding pattern, FIT Act has taken lead on the educational front. The market structure bill is a dense piece of legislation, and even the members who work on these issues regularly admit it is a lot to digest. Still, the bill progressed with decent Democrat support. Now, they are going to sneak some silly stuff into this. I'm already telling you guys, they're going to, this is going to be cheerleading time for the crypto bros. But if you look, the devil's going to be in the details. And I'm telling you right now, I predict that they're going to be bringing in some stiff regulations to rein in this space, which we do need. We do need to rein in this space. But watch this closely. Now there is a massive educational effort from members, industry, and other stakeholders about what the bill entails and why it's worth supporting over the status quo. For the 300 plus members who haven't sat in a crypto hearing, it will be a lot to comprehend and vote accordingly. Side note, these folks don't even know where they're at, right? These folks have to make sure that they're taking the right medications or otherwise they're going to fall asleep. I mean, seriously, it's an absolute joke, let alone them trying to understand crypto. Switching to the SEC, Gary Gensler will be testifying next week in front of the Senate Banking and Financial Committee. And ours will jump, he's going in front of the Financial Committee, that's the House, towards the end of the month, okay? But next week, he's going to be at the Senate Banking. The Republicans will jump on the slew of rulemakings from the SEC and recent court L's the SEC has had as proof the SEC is overreaching on a number of fronts. Now, this is so dang important. Are you guys ready to hear the Ripple case acknowledged in front of the whole world to see? In front of Congress? In the halls of the United States Congress? Are you ready for them to acknowledge that Ripple and the XRP community is well on their way to serving up the SEC potentially a complete loss, okay? But we might settle up. We might do a little deal with them. But on the secondary market, a major historical ruling from Judge Torres has given the XRP community the clarity that the rest of the space lacks. Are you ready to hear that acknowledged in the front of the U.S. House of Representatives and in front of the Senate Banking Committee as well, potentially? We'll see. Maybe it won't be. Maybe it won't be. Or maybe it will. Maybe it will. And if these politicians have any clue what to do, they're going to understand and they're going to get behind cryptocurrency, DLT technology in a major way, right? And we know why the incumbents aren't. It's because their checks come from Wall Street and the big banks and the incumbents. And so that's why they're not into crypto, and or they're also old and they don't even know where they're at in some regards. To give them the benefit of the doubt, they're just elderly folks that I'm not a fan of term limits. Side note, I'm not a fan of term limits because I know folks that are 70 years old that are as sharp as ever. Right? And the idea too of no term limits is that folks, should be running later on in life after they have experience, track record, right? 20, 30, 40 years track record, and they don't need the money. That's the other part. Some of the sharpest guys I listen to, my mentor, Dan Pena, right? The dude is 77 years old, 76 or 77 years old. He's an old geezer, right? But, and is he as sharp as he used to be? No. Okay. But he doesn't need anybody's money. And he's for the people, and he's for, free market capitalism and businesses and actually standing up and calling out the BS and holding people accountable. That's what we need. So that's why I'm not a fan of term limits per se, is because I feel like there's Ron Paul, God bless him. He's the whole guy that woke me up 10 years ago when he was running for president, 2008 and 2012, and these guys are still sharp. But what we see in Congress right now is that these guys are just bought and paid for. Let's be real, right? Let's just be honest, right? These are bought and paid for politicians that once again are not just holding back the United States, they're holding back humanity because this group of private central bankers and the entities around them, the corporations around them, want to control humanity. That's what this is. That's what this is all about. It goes back to control. Now, they're not stupid. Let's continue. The Democrats will likely highlight the various cases, crypto and others, the SEC has brought forward to protect investors. However, not all Democrats are in lockstep, and in previous hearings, Gensler has gotten dinged by his own party. Love to see it. Expect criticism on crypto and private fund advisor proposal. There is much more to digest and discuss for both Gensler testifying and impending House bills. If you're looking for more deeper dive of what to expect, Ron Hammond, huge shout out. Thank you. He is the director of government relations at the Blockchain Association, which the Blockchain Association could show a little bit more love to Ripple XRP, but we know how these groups are. That's fine. No recognition from these groups. That's okay, because Ripple's heading to the CBDC conference that's going to be taking place over here September 12th, 13th, and the 14th. This is going to be a major deal, and Ripple is showing out with 3 presentations and keynote speaks here, panel discussions, I should say. So if we look at this CBDC panel discussion, cross-border payments with CBDC, and we have James Wallace from Ripple going to be presenting. We move on over and we see that we got a breakout session, Ripple's full stack CBDC platform. Gotta love it. We slide on over to the third one, and it is going to be this one, CBDC Academy, cross-border payments with CBDC, James Wallace and Brett Mullen. Ripple taking the stage and dominating. It's not just, this is how all-star big hitters show up at an industry conference like this. Not only are they taking the stage once, they're taking the stage 3 times to present what they've been working on, to, lead the conversation. And I want to give a huge shout out because this comes from 801 XRP on Twitter. And he says, Ripple XRP fam, 2023 CBDC conference, everything CBDC, every central bank will be there. And I'd have to fact check that. I'm assuming that most central bank digital currency, central banks that do matter, central banks out of the West. I got to look at the full list, but he says that every central bank will be there. And check out the agenda. It's going to be taking place next week, 12th, 13th, and 14th. And Ripple will be there, as well as others in the world of payments, CBDC, cross-border, etc. IMF, Bank of International Settlements. The CBDC conference covers digital public infrastructure, Ripple full stack CBDC platform, which includes the private version of the XRP ledger. That's crucial for these central banks. Got to have the private version. In CBDC implementation, remember David telling us that you could roll out a CBDC on the XRP ledger in 1 day. How about that for utility? And how about that as far as getting something done with somebody who actually matters? Once again, the IMF and Bank of International Settlements in attendance, once again, with many other central bankers as well. The future of money is here, and it is here to stay. Huge shout out to 801 XRP. Now let's get right on into it, folks. This is why I titled this episode the XRP Gold Rush. This one here from Anders. Speculation is not a bad thing. Roughly 87% of volume in the FX market is speculation. Without this amount of speculation, currencies would be a lot less liquid. So even if we have a ton of utility in crypto, most volume will probably always be speculation. That's right. So that's essentially what we're doing. You have to understand, when you're investing in gold, silver, XRP, digital currencies, essentially you are an FX trader. You're just trading the currency known as XRP against the US dollar or against Bitcoin or whatever pair you're trading against. Or maybe you might be trading your XRP like a reserve currency, like Ripple is. Just maybe, right? And there's this whole narrative, and these folks that are trying to control the narrative in the XRP community, that speculation is bad, and nobody should be speculating on the XRP plus smart contract sidechain Zahao. And I made the analogy, that's like telling me, let's go to the casino but not gamble. What are we going to just the steakhouse? Okay, sure. You don't want to throw the dice a couple times? Spin it at least a couple times? Come on. Right? We're in crypto, right? But this whole narrative around speculation is bad. Look at Dogecoin. This is one of the most stupid things I've ever heard. Literally, not in just crypto, in markets and the economy and everything. How this all works. This is one of the most stupid things I've ever heard. That speculation is bad. And that speculators should be to blame for why XRP is only at 50 cents and why we haven't gotten rich off XRP yet. Oh, just wait. Just wait. Look at the historical moves that we've seen in the FX market and in swings in gold and silver in the past. That's what we're doing at a fundamental level. We're picking another currency, and maybe we want to trade it. But I put out the tweet here today. I said, guys, let me show you guys these tweets. I put out these 2 tweets here today. I hold 2 reserve currencies on my balance sheet, XRP and silver. It's very simple. I hold 2 reserve currencies on my balance sheet, XRP and silver. Check out this other one that I put out, because this explains it so simply. I will use XRP to buy 2 things, businesses and real estate. No plan of exchanging back into fiat in the process. I am looking at how do I leverage my XRP, potentially taking out a loan using my XRP as collateral, or I find somebody who's willing to accept XRP and I just pay them 5,000 XRP for the property that I want to buy or the business that I want to buy. So I got a reserve currency on my balance sheet and I will use it eventually, right? And part of it is meant for trading against the US dollar, i.e. when XRP goes to 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 to 30 to let's have a little bit of fun, I might trade back a little bit back to US fiat, maybe. But for the most part, I'm going to leverage this asset by taking out loans against it tax-free, so I don't got to pay any extra money to our already broken and bust government that's already sucking us dry. I'm going to take out a loan tax-free using my digital assets and maybe even my silver as collateral. Well, and now my silver is a different thing. That's a protective measure. I'm not really looking to use that as collateral on a loan. I don't really need to use my silver for that. The silver gets buried in the yard and the kids can dig it up someday when later on. With XRP, what we're experiencing right now, folks, is the digital gold rush. And I use that analogy, I use that clickbait, I use that thumbnail, I use that title to make it simple for everybody to understand. And to get to the good stuff, you had to go through 30 minutes of me ranting. And please smash that thumbs out if you appreciate what we're doing here. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We're running up over 500 in the chat, and I really appreciate you. But we're going to have some fun with this thing, okay? Are we going to speculate? Are we going to trade back into US fiat at some point? Maybe a little piece. But for the most part, we're going to get clarity. We already got the clarity of knowing that XRP in and of itself is not a security. Check, got it, done. But when we go to tokenize real estate, when we go to tokenize equity, when we go to tokenize other deals, when we go to buy other businesses, right? We got to understand real utility, real value. It's going to be a necessity to make it through the next decade. You're going to have to get on the side of providing utility to the world. Okay, so fiat funny money is fading away. Okay, and they have a year and a half, no debt limit. They're going to print. They're going to do all sorts of crazy things. I don't need to go into it, right? What does this do at the end of the day? It makes our scenario, our speculation, the gap between XRP's price today and where it's going to go, is widening, i.e. higher price for XRP. The more dollars that they print, right? The more dollars that they inject into the system, the more stimulus that they do. These are all forms of inflation. When you write off the debt, when you forgive debt, that is a form of inflation. Somebody has to eat that. And for most of these student loans, right, these are government loans. This is paying back the federal government. And it's one of the biggest assets. See, this debt is an asset, actually, to the United States government, and they're talking about forgiving it. Well, how's that program going to work out? Well, they don't care. They're just going to keep running $2 trillion, $2 trillion plus deficits. It'll be nothing to run $2, $3, $5 trillion deficits yearly, as we've already stacked up nearly 33 trillion in U.S. government national debt. And every time we write off one of these liabilities, right, that's another form of inflation. Excuse me. This moment will not last forever. This is why the gold rush analogy works perfectly to describe what we're living through right now. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to not only get in on the gold, on the silver, that's essential. It is the utility for the new economy, for the Green New Deal, whether we do the Green New Deal or not, right? What we have right now is the industries need more silver. There is a deficit, and there's a deficit because the smart money and me and you, speculators, are speculating that there's an arbitrage to be had. And that's all FX trading is. And what is arbitrage doing? It's actually a healthy market dynamic in a free market capitalist system and society that we want. Unless, so there are some that don't want that. There are some people that don't want free market capitalism, that don't want to have true price discovery in free markets. And that's why everything's been so jacked up. Now, eventually, we will come back to reality. And the rest of the world's already showing us. America's just still asleep. We're still having a good time, but the party's coming to an end. And as I put out in today's video on my China update video, they have dumped, oh gosh, I got to go pull up the numbers so I can really give you the facts. What is it, 400? Yeah, it's over 400 billion. I think it's 481 or 451 billion. It's nearly $500 billion in bonds that they've dumped. China. Guys, it doesn't matter what woke dance we're doing over here, how long we think the US dollar is going to remain king. The fact remains that our enemies have already doubled down. They're already well ahead and moving well away from the US dollar. But even our allies, our purported allies like Saudi Arabia, are ditching the US dollar, are ditching the US standard, are dumping our bonds. And they've dumped over 100 billion. There was another 114 billion dump between China and Saudi Arabia here recently. And what else are they doing? Joining BRICS. What else are they doing? Sending their central bankers to meet with Ripple. Gee, I wonder what's happening here. And see, this is why I say that it's incredible that folks think that it's wrong to speculate on XRP. It's wrong to hold it and think that it might go to a higher price. We all need to use our XRP for utility. No. There's going to be utility coming on the Zhao network. There's going to be utility coming from the Ethereum virtual machine over to the XRP ledger, settled in XRP, as we have the Ethereum virtual machine already being built out right now as well. Another side chain, and you can call it a side chain. I don't think that Zhao should have called themselves a side chain. It's not a side chain. It's a completely separate deal. It's a completely separate blockchain. It's not a side chain. But build utility there. They've built utility on Ethereum. Go build it on whatever the heck you want. Whatever smart contracts platform you want. Use the most advanced smart contracts platform known to man, Codius. Are we allowed to say that? Is Codius dead? Doesn't matter whether smart contract takes place. What do you want to get paid out in? I'll tell you what I want to get paid out in the future that we're talking about right now. I want to get paid out in XRP. I want to get paid out in gold. I want to get paid out in silver. Sure. Am I going to take US CBDC? Am I going to take US Treasury note? Whatever we're going to use in the future, I probably will still accept it. Okay? But the tools and capabilities for us to start accepting crypto, that's not a big deal. That's coming. It's coming. And the regulations right here is the final piece. But what is our congressmen, politicians, DC swamp so focused on right now? Going bust. Having to raise the debt ceiling once again. Otherwise, we run out of money and we shut the government down. God, if we could only be so lucky. With that being said, folks, that's my rant for tonight in regards to the XRP Gold Rush. I think this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Let me take some Q&A. Start dropping your questions down below, and I'll do a little bit of Q&A. But for those of you who are listening after the fact, this is the end of the presentation. Whether I go for another 20 minutes, another 45 minutes on the Q&A, we'll see where we go. I got my nice cold adult beverage, and I'm going to enjoy myself with the community. So thank you for tuning in. Like I said, let me know what you guys think of the new time slots. Do you guys like them? 6 a.m. on the West Coast, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. And then the second video is dropping at 9 on the West Coast, noon Eastern Standard Time. So one for the morning on the East Coast and one for your lunch break. And if you're on the West Coast with me, we get one to start the day on your way to work. You can be listening. And then we get another one at 9 to double up. And for folks who think, well, oh, you YouTubers just posting 2 videos trying to make all this YouTube money. We got a lot to talk about, man. You think you're getting a lot now. Just wait. We got a lot more cooking, right? Yeah, we're going to be running 3 to 5 shows, videos a day. Not full live shows, but we're just getting started. There's a lot to talk about. Huge shout out, Elon Muff. The Muff is here. What's up, Zach? I appreciate the 2 spot. Appreciate the love. Drop the comments down below. We can talk about XRP Plus. We can talk about XRP Gold Rush. Whatever you guys want to talk about, drop it in the comments down below. You guys know I'm always here for the conversation. I appreciate all the thumbs up, by the way. Let's get it. I thought I had one other side note that I wanted to make. Make sure you guys have subscribed. Hit that notification bell, as always. Don't want to miss the content. Zach kind of looks like a little skinnier Richard Hart. That's funny. How much XRP are you holding, Ray? You know I can't say that. Well, you know, I got a few. I got just a couple, right? And side note, thanks for asking that, Ray, because that reminded me. I was talking about this with the Discord group on Saturday, right? About how when we go to play with the ledger, make sure you guys make a different wallet. Make sure you guys make something else. You don't want to be interacting with the XRP ledger and the XRP toolkit with your main wallet that holds all your XRP, right? You know, whether you got some on cold storage, whether you got some on like the Zum wallet, right? The Zum wallet is the preferred method for so many utilizing the XRPL toolkit, and I love it as well. Huge shout out to Zum team and Vitevin, XRP Labs, everything that they're doing over there. Really appreciate that. One of the most basic and simple UIs, smooth UIs for accessing the XRPL toolkit, and they're just getting started over there. And the securities seems to be pretty strong as well too. But when it comes to utilizing the XRP ledger, I really would like folks to consider potentially creating another wallet. And when I say that, I'm not here to give you financial advice or tell you what to do, but I'm here to warn you guys. Use something else. Don't use your main bag, right? Because you don't want to expose your main wallet to playing around. Whether you're doing casino coin bets like me and you're betting Daniel from Casino Coin that the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit is going to settle up in September. I bet Daniel 100 XRP on that. You want to go create a different wallet that you're funding, a different wallet, a different relationship, something else, not your main bag. So be careful out there right now, folks. Tom Thumb, thank you for the 5 spot. Does anybody remember laughter? Tom, yeah, man. I try to lighten up the mood as best as I can. And I'm having a great time, right? I feel blessed. I'm just completely focused and locked in right now, and we are having a good time. Yeah. I know that I usually tend to be pretty serious in my presentations and in my rants and everything, but I do. Thank you for reminding me to lighten up the mood every once in a while. And we're having a lot of fun doing what we're doing. I was listening to a Bitcoin Maxi today, and I had to cut off the stupidity at a certain point, and I had to dip out of the space. But I was listening, and I'm just thinking to myself, this is our competition. Now, I shouldn't say this in a public live stream, but guys, this is our competition. These guys have no chance. Are you kidding me? This is who I have to compete against in business, in trading, investing. You kidding me? This guy was so lost in the Bitcoin sauce. I just couldn't believe it. But it's kind of funny every once in a while to listen to these guys, and you get reminded, like, wow. Oh, we can create our own wallet. Where to begin? Google? No, Mark, what I meant is create a separate wallet from your main holdings when you go to interact with the XRP ledger. So if you have your main bag of 1 million XRP, right? Don't use that wallet to interact with the XRP ledger. And most folks have their main long-term holdings on cold storage, and then you have a little bit on the exchange that you're trading. And then what I'm suggesting, or just take a look at potentially setting up another wallet where you're just going to fund it with 100 XRP so that you can go do bets with your buddy on Casino Coin's peer-to-peer bets. And that's not a sponsorship. That's not an affiliate. You guys already know the deal. I don't have any sponsors. But this to me was a very cool idea. This peer-to-peer bets. Oh, I can bet my friend whether, XRP is going to go to $1 by 2024. And let's bet 50 XRP. What the heck? Not that I condone gambling. Be careful. Gamble responsibly, I guess. But this is utility, right? On the XRP ledger, and we're just getting started. I love to see it. Love to see it. If you guys have any other questions about the smart contract sidechain, you guys can ask me, ask away. I've been studying. I've read the white paper a couple times. Well, skimmed through. I haven't read every last word, but, got to the important parts. And I got the basic understanding of what they're trying to do. Okay, here we go. Two-part question. First one is, anyone looking into anything with Ripple and the New York Fed? They like to leave breadcrumbs, and I feel as though they made the party in New York for a reason. Well, Joseph, absolutely. New York is the financial capital markets, the capital of the financial markets in the United States. Sorry, I got lost there. The capital of financial markets in the United States, right? And it's very important. And that's also where they're getting sued, is the, Southern District of New York, I believe. And that's basically the most popular market in which cases get brought, or jurisdictions, I should say. It's the most popular jurisdictions for financial cases that the SEC, Department of Justice, filing. And so, yeah, it's an important jurisdiction. It's an important city, and it symbolizes a lot. And you bet your butt, I am speculating that we get some announcements this month. I'm really interested to hear from the CBDC presentations from Ripple coming up next week, 12th, 13th, and 14th. CBDC conference, central bankers, BIS, IMF. What is Ripple going to let slip out or announce? Hey, and James Wallace already confirmed. They have 5 projects with central banks and governments live right now in Palau stablecoin. They have 5 unannounced, and they're in conversations with over 20. So we have, well over 30 conversations, partnerships, and live projects with Ripple and CBDCs, and in the case of Palau, a US dollar-backed stablecoin on the mainnet XRP ledger. Love to see it. And so the proper party coming up here at the end of September coincides with the end of a Jubilee year, coincides with the depths of a bear market and maybe the beginning of a market correction. I think that we're going to get shaken up here. So watch out for price action. The XRP community is going to get shaken up so hard. We've seen nothing yet. You think it's hard going from $1 down to 50 cents? That's going to look like playground time. I mean, we're going to get wrecked, guys. And I say we're because I'm going to get wrecked. My bag of XRP that I'm holding as a reserve currency on my balance sheet is going to go nuts, just like your bag is. When XRP goes up to $5 or goes up to $10, or God forbid, we shouldn't speculate. This is crazy talk. XRP goes to 20, 50, $100. That's fine. Let's focus on the move from $5 back down to $2. Let's focus on $10 back down to $3. $20 back down to $5. I mean, you name it. The scenario that we see in the short term is violent for the XRP community. And are we going to get flip of the switch, send it to the moon this month? I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it. But what I'm actually looking for is the major announcements and partnerships and additional utility coming to the XRP ledger getting announced this month. We have Apex, which is the developer summit for the XRP ledger, which that's where Ripple goes with all of the rest of the developers who have nothing to do with Ripple, and they're meeting in Amsterdam right now. Hopefully they're not having too much fun. And that's fantastic. So we got the devs meeting right now. We got the central banks meeting next week. And then we have the Ripple proper party taking place September 29th. I wonder what else could happen in between. Now, in the rest of the world, remember, this is what we talked about. While the XRP community has clarity and it's good times over here, we're popping champagne and having the proper party, the rest of the world is burning down. And I believe the stock market is in for a solid correction. I think that we have the government shutdown looming, which I don't think that we're going to be lucky enough. God willing, they shut down. I don't think that we're going to be that lucky. But the chaos that comes with that and the potential for Jerome Powell to raise interest rates one more time as well, this is the perfect storm as we head into the fall, as we head into the harvest season. Are you ready to have all of your energy harvested just like they did with the BlackRock sacrifice for the Bitcoin bros? How'd you like that? Oh, BlackRock's going to buy all my Bitcoin. They absolutely give us the biggest liquidation event in the history of Bitcoin. The biggest liquidation in the history of Bitcoin after Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, comes out and says that cryptocurrencies are going to transcend traditional currencies. Biggest liquidation event in the history of Bitcoin. Boom. That's how they set up the Bitcoin bros. And that's how they set up the XRP community. The whole crypto community is one big rigged casino. Let's be clear. See, XRP is not going to escape from that type of volatility, that type of manipulation. And when we do finally get our moment, folks can't wait to hit the exit at $1, at $2, at $3. Some of these guys are going to sell all of their bags at $2 and $3. They're not even going to wait for all-time high. They are not going to wait for a new all-time high at $4 XRP. Nope. Fully offloaded at $2 and $3. You have guys that are offloading right now, guys and gals, and some of them I have serious sympathy for, because it's not that they want to give up their bags. It's not that they don't believe in the research and everything that we've been looking at. It's not that they don't believe in XRP. It's that they've been forced to liquidate because of the economy, the recession, the bear market, and times are tough out there. So like I said, I have sympathy for a lot of people in that regard. But we talked about this chaos coming. We talked about getting our house in order back at the beginning of 2022. Back in October and November of 2021, when we started to predict that December we entered the bear market. Now, have we been hype on XRP since I started making content in 2021 in the very first video when I said that XRP was a reserve currency, it was going to be as liquid as a G10 currency, and that Ripple should be treated more than a central bank, but comparable to the Bank of International Settlements or comparable to the IMF, supranational groups that settle the world money, that settle all the markets, that settle all the money, derivatives, every currency, right? And putting together a basket of currencies to provide stability to the global markets. That's what Ripple's here to do. Comparable to the IMF, comparable to the Bank of International Settlements, when you can settle anything of value on the ledger in 3 to 5 seconds at no cost. And then if you want to be a crazy speculator like myself, you're going to add some to your balance sheet that ain't going to be available for anybody to use for liquidity. It ain't going to be available for nothing. It ain't leaving my balance sheet. It ain't leaving my wallet. And it gets handed on down to the children. And then I'm going to use it to directly buy businesses. 5,000 XRP, go buy a business. 10,000 XRP, go buy a business. You know, we're going to be buying properties with our XRP. Oh, Bank of America announced a Ripple partnership, announces that you're going to be allowed to custody your XRP at Bank of America and collateralize it in a loan. Let's go have a proper party. Bank of America, you want to do business? Let's sit down. You're able to withstand the banking crisis and you're one of 6 banks left in America standing and you're down to do some XRP deals? Let's do a deal. I get to compare Bank of America's deal to the AMMs, to whatever utility DeFi is going to be built over here in a decentralized manner. Maybe decentralized is going to offer me a better return, but it might have a little bit more risk. Maybe you don't want to do deals with banks. You don't like banks. That's fine. There's going to be DeFi available. I'm willing to have anybody sit across the table with me who wants to do a deal. I got XRP. I got silver. I'm building businesses with real utility. They won't go away. They won't go away during a recession. They won't go away during a depression. Are we going to feel the squeeze? Sure. But we've set ourselves up to thrive during this time. We've built infrastructure that can't be torn down during the economic hurricane. And I've been trying to help my community do the same. Understanding XRP, understanding the XRP Gold Rush is just one part of it. Let me take some more questions. How are we doing tonight? How are we doing tonight, folks? If you haven't already, please smash it for me. Thank you. Pick up farmland. See, this is the thing. These types of deals that are scarce, they ain't making any more of it. And unless there's distant far land behind the ice wall, maybe there's more land. I don't know. Maybe David Schwartz knows about it when he went to go visit Antarctica. I'm waiting for David to tell us about the real experience in Antarctica. I joke. They're not making any more of it, and the agenda from the Wall Streets, from the BlackRocks, from the group is to buy up most of it. And you are seeing with the tokenization of all of these assets, it's going to be even easier to raise money. Now, the problem that we're experiencing right now is that the market for credit, the market for debt, has gone up at the fastest pace in history, i.e. the Fed raising rates at the fastest pace in history, meaning that mortgage rates have gone from 2 and 3% to nearly 8%, or well over 7% on average, approaching 8% plus for many people too. So we go from 2% mortgage to 8% mortgage. That is going to reset the markets, right? And we're seeing that in real time. The United States has an interesting deal with the 30-year fixed rate. Many of these other countries are on 5-year variable rate mortgages, 5-year renewals, different deals that expire in 5, 10, 15 years, but they don't go 30 years like they do here in the US. And I'm hearing reports. I was listening to Economic Ninja, Travis, here today, and he was reading a report from Citizens Bank. It was an internal memo, and the banks are doing cheerleading right now so that there's not more panic. When you look at what the banks are doing, they know it's bad. They know, like Bank of America. And, this is why I joke about Bank of America, is because they're a Ripple partner. But I also joke about Bank of America because they have $100 billion unrealized loss on their bonds. That's what they have on their balance sheet. I talk about putting XRP and silver on my balance sheet, and I know how my financial standing is in my business, right? But then you go look at Bank of America, they have a $100 billion unrealized loss on their balance sheet in the form of their bonds. I wonder how bad, or maybe good, maybe they have some good debt on the commercial loans that they have exposure to. I don't know what that number is, but I know that the banks in America have about $1.5 trillion worth of commercial real estate that has to be reset next year. By 2025, this debt has to be redone. And this is all debt that was, at 2, 3, almost nothing. And some of these hedge funds and some of these groups were financing these commercial properties at 1 and 2%, literally 1.5%, 2%. And so now we go and we have to reset this real estate market. I'm so excited for you guys to be able to take advantage of this. But once again, I've been providing the real estate updates because I know many of you guys already own a home. Many of you are already real estate investors. But the point that I was making is that now they're making it easier than ever to tokenize deals and to put deals together. And so you got to understand how to do due diligence, right? If you've invested wisely, if you got a nest egg, you worked your butt off, whether you have it in your 401k, whether you just have your retirement savings, whether you're just a business owner, whether you just have a high paying job and you have liquid capital right now. You need to understand how to do due diligence. whether you're investing in real estate, cryptocurrency, a business, whether somebody's going to pitch you something, just like they're doing every damn day on TikTok, on YouTube, on every single platform. Somebody's got something to sell you, don't they? And everybody's got a deal. But who's going to be able to provide sustainable returns through this chaos, through this economic hurricane that we're now going through? You got to be kidding me. I got to grab my adult beverage. Are you kidding me? Core Pins. Core Pins, are you absolutely joking? I just love this person, which I think it's a guy. Core Pins, you're a guy, right? This guy's nuts. He comes in and he drops $200 in a super chat. And if you go look, he does have a real website. He's not a sponsor or an affiliate, okay? But if you need some Core Pins, my guy here at corepins.com just dropped a $200 spot. Are you kidding me? Zach, when you get a chance, break down on how you can borrow from XRP when it hits big time. Well, I'll tell you what, Core Pins. I'll break it down real quick right here for you after I take a sip of my adult beverage. God bless all of you guys showing the love and the support. But Core Pins goes crazy in the chat. Are you kidding me? That's nuts. I remember I actually looked up this guy's website, and I still don't even know what a core pin is. Appreciate that. Let's explain. So, just like you can take out a home equity line of credit on your home, right? I believe that you're going to be able to use your XRP as collateral as well. And you'll be able to use your XRP as collateral. You essentially, that's what you're doing even in the AMMs, right? You're making it available. That's kind of a different mechanism for how the yield is generated. In what I'm talking about, you're going to the bank and you're saying, instead of saying, okay, I have equity in my house, you're saying, hey, I have XRP that I bought at 50 cents and now it's at $50 or now it's at $500. Would you be willing to take it as collateral on a loan so that I could go buy my next business venture, so that I could go buy a piece of farmland, so that I could go buy a ranch, or so that I could go buy a big, commercial property or build an apartment, but whatever you want to do, right? This is what we're talking about. So I hope that answers, the best example I can use is you're using your equity in your house, which so many people have done. And where folks got into trouble, right, is they use good equity to go finance bad debt. So they use their home equity line of credit to go on vacation, to go buy a fancy car, to keep up with the Joneses. Instead of taking that equity and putting it into the next deal, into an asset that's going to provide cash flow, into an asset that's going to provide you a return, right? And this is where folks have gotten themselves into trouble. And now we're seeing the credit crunch hit. And so these institutions right now, they don't even want your XRP, right? They don't want it. They're laughing at you. When you show up to your bank, if you showed up to your bank tomorrow, which I challenge any of you guys to do this, show up to your bank and say, hey, I got this XRP. It's trading at about 50 cents right now. But, by my conservative estimates, I think it's going to go to $5 and $10. And I was just wondering, would you be interested in let me collateralize this at some point down the road? And maybe you don't have to tell them the whole story about XRP. You could just simply ask them, hey, do you guys have any future plans of allowing folks to leverage their digital assets at your bank? And they might laugh you out of the bank, but, half these banks are probably going to go bust and fail. So the joke's on them. At the end of the day, folks, this is the future. And you're going to have decentralized DeFi protocols to be able to do this as well. So I make the example simple so that you can understand, right? This is the same thing as going into the bank and asking them to give you a line of credit on the equity on your home, right? And you can get lines of credit, you can get debt, and you can use all sorts of crap as collateral. The rich use their art in their home as collateral, You can use all sorts of stuff. You can use your business, you can use your receivables, you can use all sorts of crap as collateral, right? But the important part is, do you have another good opportunity? Do you have another good deal, another good investment to reallocate towards. And so this is why I've put out my XRP exit strategy, and I called it my generational wealth exit strategy. And I'll let you know right now, a big part of the strategy does not include selling XRP off at $5 and $10 and then making a new move. It involves selling off some slivers along the way, but eventually when XRP sustained at $5 or $50 or $589, I can go to either the bank or I can go to the DeFi protocol. That's going to give me a 30% loan to value, right? Or it's going to give me something that I can put my XRP up as collateral. They're going to give me, US dollars in return. Or I think we even go to a place here eventually where you'll be able to just buy, because people will just accept XRP, just like people accept Bitcoin right now. There's not many people that are accepting Bitcoin for, the real estate that they want to sell, or the car that they want to sell, or whatever they have to sell for their business, their service business or products, right? But this is all coming. It's all going to be integrated and it's all going to be seamless. Now, is Amazon going to give you the option to pay with 20,000 different cryptos? Probably not. Are they going to give you the option to pay with XRP, pay with Bitcoin, pay with PayPal, pay with whatever the hell you want? That's where this goes, right? But for me, the perspective that I have on XRP, on what it really is, and trying to analyze where to put my money, is I see that XRP is incredibly undervalued when I look at the utility, when I look at the markets that they're looking to address, when I look at Ripple, when I look at the XRP Ledger developers and what they're trying to build out, when I look at the XRP community and how strong we are going to go to a higher price than 50 cents. And over the next 5 and 10 years, we could go and move rather quickly to a very high price. So that's just the basic fundamental investment thesis on this thing. With that being said, how do I reduce my tax mitigation? Well, I take out a loan against my XRP. I don't sell it for fiat. I don't make a taxable event. And that's why this is such a good option for so many people who know what to do with that debt. I'm not talking about, you'll never hear me. In fact, I'm going to make a separate video, and I'm going to just go, just straight into it, folks, that I'm not here for the rich crap. I'm not here for the flashy crap. In fact, I have to be forced to take a vacation. I have to be forced to take time off. You know what I'm saying? I don't, and as far as all the flat, I don't care. You guys see, folks make fun of me for wearing the same shirt. Yeah, dude, I have I don't care. I'm a very simple guy. I don't do the flash. I don't do the crap. But what I am adamant about is building generational wealth right now during the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. I want properties. I want businesses. I want a stupid amount of cash flow that allows me to not only take care of my family, but go take care of the community and solve some of these incredible problems that our world faces right now. And for me, I think that our XRP community is going to be able to do some incredible things with our XRP. What I worry about is folks not having the exit strategy or the reallocation strategy. Because like I said, I'm not really exiting my XRP. I want to put it up as collateral, but at the end of the day, I still have title to that as long as I pay that loan back. As long as I pay that loan back, I still have title to my XRP. So I'm not actually exiting the asset, I'm leveraging the asset. And this is what the rich do. So, for me, none of this is about flashy crap. I don't care. For me, my whole life is about utility. I do nothing but work and spend time with my family. And once in a while, I try to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm so focused and locked in right now is because I understand that these suppressed assets are on sale. This is an investment that the average person can make. 1 ounce is trading just below $24 an ounce right now. And you're going to have a premium when you go buy it from a dealer. If you want to use our links up down below to buy some precious metals, I greatly appreciate you. It does support the channel. And we can roll over your 401k, or we can ship the metals right to you. And if you're looking to just pick up a small allocation of some silver, right? This is $200, right? A little bit more, $240 spot price, and you're going to pay a premium, $260. Okay, sure. This is $24. You pay your premium, 26, 27, $30 an ounce. $30 an ounce, right? To get exposure to this asset. With XRP, 50 cents, right? Cost 10 XRP to open up a wallet. Okay. Now, people ask, how much XRP is enough? How much wealth is enough? How rich should I get? I don't know. How rich do you want to get? How much stupid crap are you going to buy? Look at the Bitcoin bros. Look at the Dogecoin millionaires. Oh, wait, not millionaires anymore. Whoops, didn't have a plan. That's what I worry about for us in the XRP community. Now, some of you guys already have a nest egg. And so it's a different program that we have to take a look at. If you already have if you already have M's in the bank account, like the kids say, you got the M's in the bank account. That feels good. Or does it? In today's economy, in today's market, when someone with a nest egg like that is, anxious every day, worried about, well, my 401k guy, he tells me, just keep your money in the market. Things will come back. Yes, it was the third worst year ever for the 60-40 portfolio, but we think that they're going to come back. Yes, it was the worst year ever for bonds, but these are going to come back, right? And then he has a new fund for you. He has a new deal for you. Every time it's time to move money, he has a new deal for you. Says no worries, don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to get educated on your investments. No, that's why you come to me, and I'm pretending to be your 401k, financial advisor, right? Your financial broker, right? These guys don't encourage you getting educated. They don't encourage you knowing where your money's at. They just assume you allow them to shift your money every couple years in and out of stocks, because as long as you keep it with them and as long as you keep it moving, they don't give a shit. Excuse my language. I wasn't supposed to swear. They don't care, right? If you get cleaned out or you took a 10% haircut last year, you took a 20% haircut. And this is real stories from folks in their 401ks and their retirement accounts. And so if I had a nest egg of $1 million, would I move it all into gold and silver? No, absolutely not. No, right? But you have to ask yourself, with what percentage of my portfolio am I looking to protect it? What percentage of my portfolio am I looking to invest it and try to multiply it? How much do I have to take riskier bets versus how much do I need to allocate towards conservative positions? The folks want to look at this formula, and no one size fits all. That's how investments work. It's not one size fits all. I can't sit here today and tell you that you need to have 10% in gold, 30% in crypto, 50% in equities, and you do the math on the rest and play with the rest. I can't tell you that, right? I can't give you that formula. We're all in a different spot, and we all have different risk tolerance. For me, I have gone from being a young single bachelor who could gamble like a degenerate on crypto, and I don't consider going all in on XRP gambling per se. I do consider that to be a well-educated investment, but you get the point. I could have been, I was a young single bachelor throwing all my extra money at XRP and having a good time. And actually I was, I started my business 8 years ago. So I've been about my business for 8+ years, right? And when I came across this opportunity with Bitcoin, I got excited about crypto. And then I came across XRP, and it finished the conspiracy theory as far as going back 10 years ago, learning about the Fed, learning about the private group of central bankers that control the United States, learning about how the political system, the political beast, the military industrial complex, waking up to the lengths and extent that this entity and agenda is willing to go, has been at 10 plus years of learning, education. And then in 2018 is when I started investing. And cryptocurrency is what got me, started with investments. Before that, I had only invested in prepping. I've been stacking. I started stacking when I went into business for myself because, as many of you guys know, my first business was a property service business. And during the wintertime, we have less cash flow, right? Because things aren't growing up here in the Pacific Northwest. We have about 3 slower months, December, January, February. We don't really get enough snow to make a killing in the snow and ice melt business, but nonetheless. So I got used to prepping back in 2015, 2016 when I started living on my own. And I had a landscape business where I knew I had to survive through the winter. I wasn't going to be killing it like we did during the spring and summer, and we were living it up. I knew winter was coming, and it was going to get cold. And so I stacked wood. At one time, I lived on a farm. I actually raised pigs. You guys wouldn't believe where I come. Well, some of you guys would, because the real ones know where I come from and who I am. I come from doing all that crap, literally shoveling pig crap out of the stalls. It's not fun. It's not pretty. But I'll be damned if we didn't grow some of the best pork that you've ever had. Slices of bacon that were pieces of ham, damn near. I mean, just 1/4 inch thickness on the fat on those pork steaks. Are you kidding me? But I was doing it. I was doing it, and I had started my business. I took a leap of faith. I left my job. I went all in, and I started prepping, and that's where it all began for me, right? When I started living on my own, started my own business, left my job, left security, right? And so I did it all. Worked the business, stacked my preps. I actually hunted back in those days too. I like waterfowl hunting. And then we were raising pigs. That's where I come from. And that for me was also the beginning of investments too, right? I started simple, right? And that's where so many folks younger want to go in now, and we focus on crypto and we focus on this and that. There's a lot of other investments to be made too. I'm not going to get started on health, and I can't speak on health because I let the Discord group educate me on health. We have our health channel in the Discord group, and I let my wifey take care of our health and wellness and proper products and all that good stuff. And I focus on taking advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. So I can't talk about health, but we have many investments that we make on a daily basis. And I think that for so many here in the most recent times, we focused on 10x crypto, bro, versus, okay, let's bet on crypto. That's fine. But we also have to get our house in order. I found pleasure in just having my little garden, having some flowers around the house when I walk around my yard and there's something beautiful there that I started from a seed. That's enjoyable. Is my garden enough to live off of? No. But does it provide me peace? Yeah. And it's the principle. It's the principle, right? And today's the day to get started. And since we're late, what is it, 9:30 on the West Coast? I've already been live for 1 hour and 17 minutes. And so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's take tonight off. But tomorrow is the day to go start that business, to make that move, to ask your boss for more responsibility at your job, to say, hey, I want to make sure that our company's going to make it through this recession, and I'm ready to take a bigger responsibility. And I'm not going to ask for a raise here. I want more responsibility. I want to prove myself, and then we can talk. Because right now, this is what's needed for you to survive, for your business to survive, whether you work a job, right? The company that you work for, your company that you work for ain't going to make it. And you're going to be getting one of these layoff notices, just like we're seeing thousands across every single sector of our economy right now. Mass layoffs. Is it as bad as the great financial crisis? No, not yet. Not yet. But it started to crack. It started to crack in a major way. And what we can do is step up to the plate tomorrow when we wake up. Tomorrow when we wake up, we can listen to, I got 2 episodes dropping tomorrow, so we make sure that we stay tapped in. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and smash that thumbs up on all of our content. Really appreciate all of those who are sharing it out far and wide, right? And we wake up tomorrow and we take massive action. Whether, like I said, we figure out how to get a raise at our job, whether we start our side hustle, whether we start our business, whether you're starting the fall garden. I just planted some more seeds last weekend. You know, there's always something to be done. And right now, there are hundreds of millions of people that are going to get left behind in this country. There are billions of people that are going to get left behind across this planet. Yes, they will get tapped in through Starlink, through Facebook running and beaming satellites down. They'll get brought into the system. They'll get smartphones, right? They'll get tapped in. They'll get CBDC. They'll get cryptocurrency capabilities, right? But the greatest transfer of wealth in world history, this opportunity is not going to last forever. So squeeze it for everything you can and pray to whoever you believe in. Catch a vibe. I don't care about that. But at least have a purpose and a mission and the clarity to take yourself, your family, your community, and your business through the chaos and the storm that they are sending our way. With that being said, folks, I'm going to wrap up this session. It's been an absolute pleasure. Huge shout out to Core Pins for dropping the major super chat along with some of our other friends who stopped by the chat tonight. I greatly appreciate it all, and I will see you guys tomorrow, okay? If you guys can, on the way out, just head to my website, zachrector.com. If you're looking to get in touch, we can answer any of your questions, get tapped in with our community. We would love to have you. God bless you all. I'll see you.